February wasn't supposed to end like this. Yet here we stand. We're on the edge of something massive. The last day of February has always felt strange. It's an unfinished month, cut short. But this February 28th, it's something else entirely. A new moon in the final hours of an already incomplete month. That's not just timing, that's design. And here's where it gets even weirder. 7 planets will be in alignment at the same time. 7, a number of completion. The universe isn't just giving us an ending, it's pressing the reset button on a cosmic scale. And if you've been doing good, despite how hard things have felt lately, then trust me, you need to hear this. Because there's something about this new moon that nobody's talking about. And if you resonate with what I just told you, keep watching because something will happen very soon. But before we get to that, there's something else you need to know. The shift has already started, and chances are you've already felt it. The new moon's energy isn't coming, it's here. If you've been feeling restless, suddenly exhausted, or even having bizarre, vivid dreams, you're not imagining it. This isn't random. The days leading up to this moon are more than just build-up. They're an activation, a recalibration. Like reality is adjusting itself before something bigger locks into place. Some people feel wired, like something is coming but they don't know what. Others feel drained, like they're running on empty for no reason. But either way, you're already inside the pre-wave, and if you think this is intense, just wait until you hear what happens next. This new moon isn't just about energy, it's about initiation. The universe isn't letting you step into this new cycle without making sure you're ready. And how does it do that? By testing you. In the next 48 hours, something unexpected will happen. A challenge, a trigger, a situation that feels eerily familiar, because it is. Maybe it's a sudden argument pushing you to see if you've really learned patience. Maybe an old temptation reappears, testing your discipline. Or maybe it's something deeper, a moment of extreme clarity where you just know what you have to do next. This is the final checkpoint before the shift passes and you move forward. Fail, and you repeat the lesson. This isn't just personal, it's collective. You're either passing the test or repeating the lesson. The universe is moving something much bigger into place, which brings us to the most mysterious part of all. The new moon won't be alone on the 28th of February. It will be accompanied by a planetary alignment. Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Uranus, Mercury, Saturn, Neptune. These aren't just celestial bodies moving into place. They're locking into position like the tumblers of a safe, like a code being entered into the fabric of reality itself. And what happens when the right combination is turned? Something opens. 7 is the number of completion, the number of divine order. Something is either being sealed or something new is about to be unlocked. What if this alignment is more than just astrology? What if it's the prelude to an energy shift so big we haven't even begun to understand it? Because when 7 planetary forces come together under the darkness of a new moon, the most mysterious and unpredictable lunar phase, it means something is being rewritten. And here's the real question. Are you ready for what's on the other side? The universe doesn't forget, it only waits. Remember when I said that if you've been doing good, despite how hard things have been, something major is coming your way? This is it. What if February's darkness isn't just an ending, but a karmic holding zone? A place where everything unfinished, unresolved, and unspoken has been waiting. And now with this new moon, it's finally time to settle the score. This isn't just any new moon, it's happening in Pisces, and Pisces rules the unseen, karma, and deep spiritual revelations. You've been dealing with a cycle that has felt frustrating, unfair, like you're stuck in a loop that refuses to break. You've given, yet seen nothing in return. You've been patient, too patient, but the scales can't stay unbalanced forever. This is the moment everything starts tilting back into place. For some, that means finally getting the recognition, the results, the long overdue shift they've been waiting for. If you've been doing the work, emotionally, spiritually, physically, expect a breakthrough. But for others, the ones who have been taking shortcuts, avoiding accountability, or manipulating situations to their advantage, This is the moment the universe says, enough. Justice doesn't ask if you're ready. It arrives when it's time. And here's the part nobody sees coming. Pisces karma isn't just about balance, it's about exposure. Whatever has been hidden is about to come to light. This is why the last days of February might feel heavier, almost like reality itself is pressing in. Because this isn't just a moon phase, it's a cosmic verdict. And if you think that's intense, just wait until midnight. At the exact moment this new moon peaks, something in the air will change. And if you're paying attention, you'll feel it. You've felt it before, haven't you? That split-second moment where everything feels off, but you can't explain why? Well, this time, it won't just be a feeling, it will be undeniable. Something eerie happens at the stroke of midnight, a shift so subtle yet so undeniable that, for a brief moment, it feels like reality pauses. You might notice it as a sudden, unsettling stillness, like the air just got heavier, or maybe it's the opposite, a strange lightness, like the world just detached for a second. Some will feel an unexplained pressure in their head. Others will get this instinctual urge to look around, as if sensing something unseen. For a few moments, it will feel like everything stops. And here's where it gets even weirder. Every time a new moon lands at the very edge of a month, this effect amplifies. It's almost as if the space between months creates a glitch, a thinning of the veil between what we see and what we don't. Some will write it off as nothing, but those who are tuned in, they'll know. Because in that moment, something aligns. Not just the planets, not just the moon, but something deeper, something ancient. Not everything that moves in the dark is meant to stay hidden. On the 28th of February, the sky is going completely dark. No light, no reflection, a total blackout. And here's what most people don't realize. When the moon disappears, we enter a spiritual blind spot. It's like stepping into a room you've never been in before, but something is already inside. The energy shifts in ways you can't explain. The air feels thicker. The silence has a weight to it, and somewhere deep in your mind, something tells you to pay attention because this isn't just a normal night. Something is moving. It's not always something bad, but it's something hidden, a thought, a realization, a message from something bigger than you. And during this time, those messages don't arrive through the obvious channels. They slip in through the cracks. A dream that feels too vivid, a gut feeling so strong you can't ignore it, a whisper of intuition that tells you exactly what's about to happen before it does. Most people will shrug it off, they'll get distracted, they'll convince themselves it's nothing. And that's exactly why they won't see it. Because the thing about spiritual blind spots is they don't reveal themselves to the ones who aren't looking. The universe isn't screaming during this time, it's whispering. And the only way to hear a whisper is to be silent enough to listen. There's something eerie about this kind of darkness. It doesn't just hide things, it reveals them in ways that light never could. It forces you to feel instead of see, to trust instead of prove. And that's exactly why some people will wake up on the other side of this new moon with an undeniable knowing that something has shifted, even if they can't put it into words. Maybe it's a realization about someone in your life. Maybe it's a truth about yourself that you've been avoiding. Maybe it's an understanding of what your next step is, so crystal clear that you wonder how you didn't see it before. What if we've already lived this day before and just forgot? There's something off about February 28th. Always has been. Think about it. It's the only date that technically disappears every 4 years. It exists, then suddenly it doesn't. Almost like a missing frame in the film of time. And here's where things get even weirder. There are people, more than you'd think, who swear that around this time, strange things happen. Events repeat. Conversations feel like reruns. People get this unshakable feeling of déjà vu so intense, it makes them stop mid-sentence, as if their mind is glitching out. But what if that's exactly what's happening? February 28th isn't just a forgotten day, it's a ghost day, a moment that exists on the edges of reality, slipping in and out of timelines like a flickering light. And what happens when something flickers? It means for a split second, it exists in two states at once. What if this is the one day where the timeline isn't as solid as we think? There's a reason so many people experience time moving strangely around now. Some say it speeds up. Others feel like the hours drag unnaturally slow, like they're wading through something thick and invisible. Even technology gets weird. Clocks freeze for a second, phones glitch, lost messages suddenly reappear. It's almost like reality itself is stuttering. And if that's the case, then we have to ask ourselves, how? How many times have we already lived through this moment? There's a theory that time isn't linear at all, that sometimes it loops back on itself, that certain moments are like ripples in a pond, repeating over and over until something finally breaks the cycle. Could February 28th be one of those days? Maybe we're all inside a moment that's been playing out again and again, but this time something's different. Maybe this is the year something finally shifts, and if that's true, what happens when the loop finally ends? The universe has been whispering the truth for months, but only those who are listening will understand it. It's easy to dismiss the strange energy around this time, to chalk it up to coincidences, to tell yourself it's just another day. But what if it's not? What if all of this, the eerie stillness, the planetary alignment, the new moon perfectly placed on the last possible moment of the month, isn't random? Patterns don't just appear for no reason. They emerge because something is weaving them together. And if you step back and really look at what's been happening, the message becomes obvious. This isn't just a normal new moon. It's a reset point. 7 planets aligning like gears in a clock, clicking into place. A moonless night, like a blank page being prepared for something new to be written. And February 28th, the one day that exists in a liminal space, standing on the edge of a timeline shift. This has all been leading to something. Some people have felt it for weeks. That strange pull, the feeling that something big is about to be revealed, that they're on the verge of a realization they can't quite put into words. Maybe it's not in your head. Maybe this is the universe placing the final piece of a puzzle in front of you. And here's the thing about puzzles. They only make sense when you finally see the full picture. So ask yourself, what patterns have been repeating in your life? What keeps showing up over and over, begging you to pay attention? What truth has been in front of you this whole time, but you just weren't ready to see? Because when the clock strikes midnight, when the moon reaches its peak, when this alignment locks into place, something changes. And those who are awake, they'll be the first to notice it. If you're still watching, I'd like to thank you for your attention. If you enjoyed the content and want to see more, please consider clicking the subscribe button. Your support is very appreciated. Feel free to share your experiences or thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, take care and subscribe for more insightful content.